Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being with us. So, this is our Women's History event. We're going to get started because we have our guest speakers and our attendees. As more people join, that's completely fine. You're welcome to join at any time. So, with that, I will share my screen.
Awesome. Thank you, Nadine. And just to reiterate for some of our new folks that are joining us, we are a public charity dedicated to leading artists with adversity to success and spreading empathy through art. And that way we transform communities. And today we're going to have a workshop all about Women's History Month. Just a reminder, we are recording this workshop. So as you are speaking, please speak clearly and slowly so that we can have accurate captions. And increasing our inclusive efforts, Nadine and I will describe ourselves as we introduce ourselves. So I'm Rowan. I'm the co-founder of the Art Spread. I am based in Detroit, Michigan. I'm a Middle Eastern female with dark curly hair. I'm wearing glasses and a navy blue top.
Good morning. I'm Nadine. I have blonde hair. I'm wearing a white top, and I'm also a co founder. And I'm so excited to work on this event with you.
Yeah, and some of the announcements that we have a ton of new artwork in our online gallery. You can visit theartspread.org/shop. We have lots of new work from female artists. Some of them are selling out quickly, so be sure to check that out soon. And Nadine, do you want to share about the public charity status we just received?
Of course. So we just got reclassified by the IRS to public charity status. What that means for you all is if you make any kind of donation, whether it's materials or monetary, you get the biggest write off that you can get by donating to our organization. And then transitioning into the next one, we're always looking for artwork to be donated because that helps out with our events and fundraising supplies. We're also having an event in April on April 9th. It's called Masterpiece. So any local businesses on the call, we'd love to work with you in getting food donated for our event and any sort of gifts for the event. This is an event all about kids, and Rowan's going to explain that in just a second.
Yeah, so it's a K through 12 juried art show, and we're collaborating with Villages of California who do incredible work in the community, especially focusing on mental health. So that's happening on April 9th in Anaheim, California at Sunkist Elementary School. So you can email us if you'd like to donate to that cause at hello@theartspread.org for more information.
And with that, let's get started. Oops.
Nadine, could you click
Okay.
the hide button? I think it says hide. Yeah, right there. Perfect. Oh,
Oops.
sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, there
There
we
we
go.
go. So, welcome to our event. What is this event about? So, we have a template that most of you have downloaded already. And if you haven't, I put the link in the chat as to where you can find it. Let me know if you have any issues finding it. So, Lady Justice is our symbol for our template today. So, Lady Justice is a symbol of fairness, truth, and equality, while recognizing the vital role that women play in shaping the arts and advocating for justice throughout history. So, we're going to explore how to create and design our template today of Lady Justice, what certain symbols and the blindfold, for example, means. And Rowan's going to take us through that technique, and then we'll introduce our guest speakers.
Yeah, so while we have this on the screen, we can take a look at Lady Justice, break down a couple of the elements here. So you see that she's wearing a blindfold, and the blindfold represents fairness. There is a sword in her hand, and that represents authority. And then, of course, the scales represent balance. We thought Lady Justice was the appropriate figure for this workshop because not only is she portrayed as strong, she represents equality, not just for women, but for all humankind. And this image in particular isn't one that you'll find anywhere else, so definitely be sure to download that from our website. This was created using AI, and then of course I went in and refined some things and added some personal touches and simplified it as well so that we can go in and add our own details. So the workshop we're doing today, it's going to be all about colored pencils. Of course, you're welcome to use anything you like. I believe Nadine's using markers. I'd love to know what you're all creating with, so let us know in the chat what you'll be using. So I'll be using Prismacolor color pencils. It's the Premier palette, and you can see on the screen, similar to what I have. A 12 count is starting at $13, and you can find this Michael's, Blick's, Joann's, Target. And this is a wax-based colored pencil set. You can also get an oil-based colored pencil set, which looks like the Faber-Castell set. And I'll actually pin my screen for everyone so we can see what's happening. Okay. So these are the Prismacolor sets. We can do a Faber-Castell set, which will be an oil-based colored pencil. A little bit about the difference between the two is oil-based colored pencils are a bit more durable. They can give you a sharper point, and they're really good for detailing. With a wax-based colored pencil, like the Prismacolors that I have here, they are softer, they're very creamy, and so they're great for blending. And again, they can be reasonably priced. You can get a pack of 12 and then all the way up to, hundreds and hundreds of sets. And so a couple of techniques we'll talk about is how to start with drawing with colored pencils, the type of pressure you want to use, and blending techniques. So one tip I do have is patience. It takes lots and lots of layers to create, depth and dimension. And can everyone see this okay, or should I adjust the lighting? Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. Okay, great. So when you want to start with colored pencils, you want to choose the right paper to begin with. So I have chosen Bristol paper, and this works really well. You can find this, anywhere as well that I've mentioned before. If you don't want to use Bristol paper, you can use any type of hot press paper. So like hot press watercolor paper. You just want something with a smooth finish. We don't want too much texture because that can cause a lot of a grainy look unless that's what you're going for. And so another thing is you really want to have very sharp points with your colored pencils. And we'll talk about how to hold them and things like that. And you also want to start, at least in this case, while we're doing we're going to work on her hair some more, start from light colors to dark colors. And so I've started already. I put the base down with this cream color. Is it blurry for you guys, or can you see? Is this okay?
I can see.
Okay. So I've already begun the base color, which is this cream color. And in different ways, you can add some pressure and depth to it. So I'll show you that here in a minute. So I'm going to go in with a sienna brown, and that's where I'm going to add, again, we want to draw in circles. So circles can look vertical like this or horizontal, however you wish. You do want to keep them in the same direction just so that it doesn't have too much texture, unless, again, that is what you're going for. So let's start here, and just looking at her hair and the shape of her head, this is where the light would hit her. So we're going to darken around that. So let's darken over here. You see how I'm coloring in at an angle. This also helps to keep the pencil sharp. I do like to rotate it so that the tip stays sharp. So what I would like to do is start on the ends. So you can see this is a very light layer. So I started here. I'm going to go over here as well, because these are the darkest areas that will have the most shadow happening. So again, we're just going in slow circles, very soft pressure. And so with soft pressure, you see I'm holding the pencil at the end. And if I want to go in and add a bit more pressure, I'm going to get closer to the tip and add that pressure there. This is something called burnishing. And so this is when we're really adding a lot of depth and weight with the color and basically covering every part of the paper. So this is what burnishing would look like. Okay, and so I'm going to lighten up as we go. And again, really trying to blend things in so we don't have too many harsh lines. So I've started with that color. I have about 3 more colors to go. So I'll work on this as we're continuing, but I do want to share just another tip. So for example, if you have, let's say we have this beautiful dark umber color here. And we're going to Just draw that in, and then we'll have this beautiful sienna brown. Now we want to blend these colors together, and I'll do this with her hair as well as we go on. Another blending technique you can use is with white or light, a light colored pencil. And so I don't have white on me, I have this light colored pencil. But to blend this in so it gives you a nice smooth finish instead of these very textured, grainy finishes, you can press very hard in circles and blend in the colors. This will desaturate your colors, as you can see, but it's a great technique when we're doing something like hair, especially because we can just go right back in and add some more detailing, especially with, some strokes to create some hair strokes, things like that. And then, of course, I like to go in, again, we're doing tons of layers. I went in with this canary yellow just to add in some highlights. So I would do that here where the light is hitting her. You'll see that better once I add the dark in her hair, but canary yellow to add the highlights that were also added here. And then again, you can go in and burnish that, blend that in, or you can leave it for just some fine detailing. And one other thing, especially if you're using wax colored pencils, sometimes you can get a really shiny residue called a wax bloom. And if you want to remove that, you can just take a paper towel, rub that in lightly, and it'll help create a smoother look. It won't be completely matte, but it would get rid of some of the shine and some of the pencil strokes. So I know we've just started. Does anyone have any questions so far?
More like a comment. Being an artist is extremely difficult.
And you know what's interesting? To be honest, I don't create much with colored pencils, so this was a really fun experience for me. It, again, taught me a lot of patience because, look, this is just 3 layers so far, and we have so many more to go. So I'll be working on that. I do want to see everyone's progress, so if we can all, let me unpin this. If we can all just share. Oh, wow, Nadine, that looks amazing.
Thanks.
Wow. All right, everyone, if you can share your, get a gallery view.
Looks so good.
All right, guys. Awesome, Sheena. Okay, let's get back to our side view. All right, and with that, I'd love to share a little bit about female artists, females, iconic artists who have inspired me. And so Nadine will pull that up for us. So these women for a couple of reasons, but first we'll start with Zaha Hadid. Zaha Hadid is an architect. She was born in Baghdad, Iraq in 1950. Unfortunately, she did die in 2016. You can see here some of her work, the Abu Dhabi Performing Arts Center in the UAE, and 520 West 28th in New York. This is right off the High Line, so if any of you are familiar with either one of these, let us know in the chat. Zaha is incredible in so many ways. So one of the reasons why I truly admire her is because not only is she an architect, which is a very male-dominated industry, she's the first woman to receive the Pritzker Architectural Prize. And also being a woman from where Nadine and I are from, where some of you are from, the Middle East, coming into this male-dominated industry and taking over and being such a leading icon in this industry is truly incredible. And not only that, I also admire her obviously for her work. She has really defied gravity in some of her buildings, her designs. They're very, there's a lot of curvature, very organic shapes. And these pictures really don't do them justice. If you ever get a chance, she has work all over the country. Definitely give it a visit. She obviously has a great engineering team behind her as well. But truly iconic in so many ways. Again, just being from a country where women may not be recognized as well. And then, of course, kind of taking over the world with her talent. And another incredible icon is Frida Kahlo. I believe some of us are big fans of hers. She was born in Mexico in 1907, and she did die in 1954. One of the reasons I do, I guess, admire her is this quote here. It says, "My painting carries with it the message of pain." For someone like myself and even some others on this call, art has been very therapeutic for me. And I do create a lot of art that expresses my pain. And sometimes it's very hard to do, to be vulnerable and open to society in that way. But icons like Frida have really helped me to feel like, okay, she's sharing her story in such a bold way. I can do the same. And so with that, let's do another quick check-in with our templates, because I know Nadine's working away.
And Rowan, when you were talking about Zaha Hadid, I have seen the Abu Dhabi Performing Arts Center, and it was so nice. So if anyone ever goes to the Middle East that way, it's truly something to check out.
Love that. Ooh, I love the colors. Sheena, what are you creating with? That was really nice blending.
These color pencils that I got from probably when I was 11. I just keep stuff. But
well, good for you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that you had an opportunity to use them.
And with that, I want to introduce our first guest speaker as we keep working on our templates. This next guest speaker is an absolutely amazing person and artist. So Lindsay Joy Holcomb, who's on the call with us, we're so honored to have her. She's a Japanese-American interdisciplinary artist, which she'll explain what that is, speaker and writer based in Oregon. In 2017, Lindsay turned her MS diagnosis into a powerful social art initiative, Colors of MS. If you haven't seen her work, I'll put the website for her artwork in the chat, or if Rowan, you could do that so I don't take the screen down.
Actually, her work is... Sorry, the screen went down, so can you share it? Because we have some samples on the...
Yeah, I didn't know I wasn't sharing. Okay, hold on. So let me share. Oops.
There we go.
Go into it. Perfect. Here's Lindsay. I thought I was showing you guys this the whole time. Okay, so here she is, and here's some examples of her artwork. So Lindsay is not only an incredible artist with such a positive attitude on everything that's happened to her over the course of her life, but she is a mother, and we're just so honored to have her, and everything she's done to give back to her community and to ours. We're so grateful. So Lindsay, I'm going to pass it to you, and I'm going to start off with a question of, I know you're doing an art auction every Wednesday. So let me stop sharing. I know you're doing an art auction every Wednesday. Why don't you talk to us about that, and we'll go from there.
Okay, great. I am so excited to be here. Thank you again for inviting me. I am sorry to have not had time to download the template, but I will, because I can't think of a better subject to relax in color to than Lady Justice lately. Yes, like Nadine said, I have been running every Wednesday an auction of both original and digital artworks that I have created in my studio, primarily this past year, but a few older ones from the archives. And I will say March, in addition to being Women's History Month, is also MS Awareness Month. And for myself, it's my 7th MS Awareness Month. Probably wasn't aware of it that first year, but I was aware of it the last 6 years. And really, MS and my diagnosis came alongside, really parallel to stepping out and saying publicly, I'm an artist, because I always felt somewhat not embarrassed, but I never viewed myself as the artist of my family. My mother's a really accomplished watercolor artist. My sister has been doing, makers markets for 10 plus years and has always been the art kid in our family. I'm the violinist.
Also very talented.
It was something I did at 10 p.m. to unwind or, on breaks and things like that. But I wanted to get back to why, I really felt that I wanted to give back both to the art spread and through art and focus on trying to raise funds for, the mission of the art spread, which has really been something that I have personally, benefited from in my relationships with both Nadine and Rowan and the activities that you've put on from the last years. But it's something that I just truly believe can benefit anyone along their journey, no matter what you are facing or walking through. And you don't have to be, if you're in a perfectly wonderful, peaceful spot, it's still beneficial. And so that is why I really wanted to kind of shift my fundraising and awareness efforts this month from an MS specifically fundraiser, which, I have been asked several times this month, why are you not raising money specifically for the MS Society or for MS focused work? And while they're very important, I think there is a big machine behind that. And I don't see that same machine in supporting the arts and the impact the arts can have on people. One thing that I've kind of learned in the last 7 years with being in this kind of public art space, which I have been learning publicly, making mistakes publicly, like kind of dabbling with like, oh, am I this kind of artist? Nope. Am I this kind of artist? Nope. I tried to do the markets. I don't have the energy for markets, things like that, like finding out kind of where I fit and what model I am in. And art in this space, especially in groups that can touch a lot of people in an accessible way online, is so important to me. My journey as an artist, I will say, and my identity as a person is not rooted entirely in MS. A lot of people in my inner circle that I talk to often, I'll joke often. I'm like, MS is literally the least interesting part about me, but it's what has made my work the most notable. And I'm very thankful for that. I'm constantly wowed that, I have now painted about 393 brains in 18 countries across the US. That was not something I ever had on my radar when I first started painting MRI. But alongside this project being very public, I've been learning again publicly, well, what art do I want to create that's outside of my diagnosis? Because my artist journey, how I came to art, not only growing up with it, came from many different points in my life. When I started my studio, or when I started saying like, hey guys, I'm an artist. Yes, I was walking through a major diagnosis that had taken 10 years to get there, but I was also a young mother dealing with postpartum. At the time, I had 2 daughters that were toddlers that were 21 months apart. So double diapers in our household alongside postpartum, alongside a job transition and a job loss. I had 2 family members in palliative care at that time. I was walking through a gender discrimination lawsuit at the time. There was so many things going on at the time of my diagnosis that I remember feeling quite numb and quite, I don't know where to seek healing or solace, and all of my kind of common denominators that would usually cheer me up were not working. The haircuts, and they're like fiddling with your head, that wasn't working. Getting a new purse, that wasn't working. And that was like alarming to me. And so I was really digging back and saying, what is it that can help me kind of reboot my senses? And all I could think of was you know, when you're a child, before we all decide like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm good at this, I'm not good at that, was art, was playing with art supplies. It was that new crayon box smell where you're like, tell me something that is more delightful than opening up a new box of crayons. Like that is the best, you know, back then dollar, because I'm from the 80s, that you can buy, you know. And so it was really chasing that sense of like, okay, can I play again at my 30s? You know, I don't need to tell anyone this, I don't need to monetize it, I just want to play. And so really, truly, that is how my art journey started. It was probably a mama fit at 10 p.m. playing whack-a-mole with kids that didn't want to stay in their toddler beds, probably a glass of wine, and ordering the wrong art supply on Amazon, saying, what the heck is this? And, you know, I stand here 7 years later saying, oh my gosh, like it's bizarre to me, all the things that have happened, but I'm so intensely grateful for that. And so every time I hear someone say like, oh, I'm not good at art, or I'm not an artist, I'm like, no, you just haven't found your supply yet. You haven't found that hyperfixation yet. And just give yourself that permission to play. That is a very long ramble as to why I wanted to really focus on art this month and the auction pieces. And so I've been doing these every Wednesday. I think we're sitting at about, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, but I think we're at like 225 now this month. I hope to increase that number. I would like to donate all the artworks that remain to the art spread so that you can continue hopefully benefiting from their sales in the future. So it's just everything that you do and everyone being here and the artists you represent. I just thank you because it's an honor to be among you.
Thanks, Lindsay. And I just want to interject. So the first time we met, Lindsay, was Rowan. We had an MS event virtual just like this. And Rowan was a huge fan of Lindsay. And I told her, I was like, just reach out and see if she responds. She's probably not going to because she's such a big artist. And not only did she respond, she was timely as a guest speaker. And she's stayed involved since 2021, I think, with our organization. And we're so grateful for meeting a woman like you. You're really an inspiration. Every time your name comes up when we talk, Rowan and I like go on and on about how fantastic you are. So thank you for everything that you do. And thank you for sharing your story. And I know some mothers are on here, so they can definitely relate to the chaos that children may cause. I
mean, I feel I need to level set with everyone that like I create on a folding Kirkland table in my breakfast nook. And my big objective today is to get to the bottom of a sink. So, you know, trust me, I'm approachable and I'm just here to support all of you in your journey. So thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. And then one more question for you, actually. So we're talking about how you inspire us. Who inspires you?
Well, aside from the amazing women artists on this call, Rowan, Shaw, I'm really thankful to have two women in my circle that are in Oregon artists, that Emily Jung Miller and Shelby Silver. I can definitely share their contact details in the chat after this. They are both, Emily Jung Miller is an artist from Hawaii and has found herself in Oregon, and a large body of her work is repurposing discarded CNET into basketry. And so trying to find a solution to debris that already exists into beautiful objects and teaching people the impact of that. Funnily enough, Shelby Silver also does reclaimed CNET artwork and also sea plastic. She leads workshops of combing the beach to find discarded sea plastic and turning it into mosaics and teaching about the impacts of our environment and what we can do through art. They are both artists that I've seen pivot through stages of their life, different sorts of grief journeys, diagnosis and health, and all in really interesting ways. You know, for Shelby, it was pulping all of her diagnostic paperwork and turning it into paper sculpture. And for Emily, she was unfortunately lost some very a dear family member during COVID, and created an amazing project of paper from her grandmother's home into hanging moon installations. That is so much more intricate and complicated than I explain here. But I love the versatility, creativity, and kind of reactive focus of both of their studios. And they're both amazing, approachable people. And I hope that you can all give a follow.
Yeah. And if you want to put their info in the chat, we would love to
I will do that.
follow.
Also, yours, Lindsay, because we do have one more week of the art auction. And they are works starting at $50. I've placed 2 bids. I'm super excited. They're incredible works. They're originals, they're prints. So this is another reason why we really enjoy Lindsay's, because she does make art accessible, and that's a huge part of our mission. So
thank you.
Definitely take advantage of that. It'll happen next Wednesday. So be sure to follow us at the.art.spread and Lindsay as well. And she'll put that in the chat.
Thank you so much, ladies.
And then with that, we will introduce our next guest speaker. So I'll pass it to Rowan and I will share my screen. I will remember to share it this time.
Okay, 1 second. Let me adjust this on my end here. Okay. All right, so next up we have contemporary artist Shah, and she is one of our featured artists with the Art Spread. Shah is a social documentary photographer. She's originally from Iran and currently resides in Vancouver. Through her work, she captures the resilience of women and children who bear the weight of war. She has studied at the Danish School of Media and Journalism. And she's very well traveled, and so she uses her skills as a photojournalist to bring stories of women from war-stricken lands like Iran, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, to the Western world. And through this, she's raising awareness and bringing a piece of life from afar into our own environment. And Shah has been a featured artist with the Art Spread since 2022. She's been featured in international online magazines as well as a ton of Canadian media, and just does really incredible work. You can see some of her portraits here that we have in the shop, and if you scan that QR code, it'll take you to our shop page where you can see more of her work there. And with that, Shah, I'd love to ask you why you created the Ash Milk series, which is what we're seeing here.
First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity, and hi everyone. My real name is Shaqaiq, and I know how much my name is pronounced is difficult, so because of that they call me Shah. But Shaqaiq is a kind of flower, poppy, the flower for the Remembrance Day. And also you can find my photo series and different things on my website, shaqaiqphotos.com. And okay, about the Ash Milk photo series. I create Ash Milk because I want to share the story of Yazidi women who survived ISIS captivity. I want to share the story of their pain, strength, and memories through their tattoo. About their tattoos, I can say they scratch their skin by everything sharp, same as needle, knife, even wood. And for the ink of the tattoo, they use the blood, ash, and breast milk. And the tattoo is the name of the lost loved ones, or the name of their city, or the date of their captivity. And when I want to start this photo series, I think how people carry their trauma, how they want to keep their memories, and how do they heal. Yazidi women lost their loved one families, home, freedom, everything during the captivity. So they start the tattoo, everything that they love on their body. They want to use their own body to keep their memories alive. Uh,
And I wanted to ask you, just to give perspective to everyone here, you actually went to them in the Middle East in order to capture their stories, talk to them, right?
yes, I live with them for 20 days in their camp.
And what were the risks that you yourself faced, or that these women faced when you were with them for 20 days, interviewing them and photographing them?
Yes, I will tell you. For me as a documentary photographer, too often during the war and violence, people turn to the number and their story disappear. For me, it's important to take the photos and show to other people, not as a victim, as the survivor who want to their story be heard and who to refuse to to be forgotten. So when I stay with them in their camp, for women, they still have some fear to share their story because of the judgment and rejection from some part of the community. And also, they don't know about the loved one, they're still alive or they kill them. So this part related to Yazidi women. And for me, I have to be patient to gain the trust, and they can share their story with me. It takes time, step by step, that they can, because we are not speaking the same language, somehow it's more difficult. Always I have some ethical concern about, okay, I don't want just to take their photos. I want to tell their story. Some part that I always think about that when I work with them. But they are okay.
Go ahead.
They are not just the only women that I take a photo. You mentioned that I traveled several times in Afghanistan. I want to tell the story of what happened war to women and their children, and also in Kurdish community in Iran, Iraq, Turkey, Syria, and about the self-immolation and committed suicide. I'm familiar with this kind of sad story, and I know how to deal with them.
And I just want to say, so Ja's artwork is in our online shop, and I don't know if Rawan can put the information in the chat, but I purchased a piece, and it's of a hand, one of the women's hand, and I put it right in front of my bed so that every morning when I woke up, I could see just a visual reminder of how lucky I am sometimes to have escaped that life. So you've definitely inspired me, Ja, and your work is absolutely incredible. And I wanted to ask you, actually, just like we asked Lindsay, because you're such an inspiration to us, what female inspires you?
Such an interesting question. When Lindsay talked about that, she gave me another point of view, but I think the people have influenced me the most is exactly the women that I take them a photo. I photograph them. They show me the hidden part of their life, and they share their story. I can say the women that I take the photo during the past 15 years have influenced me the most.
I think that's beautiful, Ja. And what I find similar between you and Lindsay is you both use art to represent other people and what they're experiencing in life. And so truly touching. And again, when you're purchasing Ja's work from our shop, you're not just taking home this incredible story. You're letting people know exactly what Ja is doing and what's happening in parts of the world that are happening today. And also, you're contributing and helping her because she has other documentary efforts and lots of work that she's doing outside of this. So just want to make that clear. And at the very least, be sure to share her work with your friends. And again, at the very least, it's a conversation that you're having that's spreading awareness and keeping the memories of these loved ones alive.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Shaw, for
Thank you so
sharing that
much.
first. Yeah, of course,
so
of course. We're always so honored to have you come on and speak. You and Lindsay are our inspiration, for sure. So, with that, I guess if you have been working on your template, if you want to turn on your camera and show us your progress, I completely messed up on the lips of the first template, so I printed out a new one and started a new one. So I'll
Just now?
Yeah.
I love the dedication. All right, let's try to get, I'm going to make it a gallery view so we can try to get a photo. Wow, I love this.
That's so cute.
I love what you did with the drape. That's so beautiful. Well, thank you, everyone. Anyone have any questions for Lindsay or Shaw or us before we get to some of the closing remarks?
I just want to say thank you to both of you ladies. Such an inspiration. The work that you do has a tremendous impact, so keep doing it. Never stop, and we're always here to support.
Absolutely. And with that, Nadine, do you want to share one last time? And so just a reminder, of course, we have new artwork in our online gallery. Oh, Chuchi, Mario, Luca, look at I love that. And let us know in the chat who created that. Was it Leah or Jay? Oh, I love that. So a reminder, we have new artwork in our online gallery. Be sure to take a look there. It's artwork that ranges from $40 to $4,000, so really a piece for everyone. We are accepting donations, artwork donations. Again, Lindsay, thank you so much for all of the ways that you donate to the Art Spread. You're truly helping us make an impact every single day. And small giving, like $10 monthly giving, can really go a long way. Small giving creates a huge impact, especially for an organization like ours. And if you have art supplies that you'd like to give, that would be really helpful for our upcoming event, Masterpiece, as we're creating goodie bags for all the children there. And then be sure to stay connected with us on Instagram at the.art.spread. And again, our upcoming event, Masterpiece, you can scan the code there on the screen to RSVP. You can also go to our events page at theartspread.org/events to stay up to date in all our future events.
Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see you next month if you attend the Masterpiece event. If not, just stay connected on social media at the.art.spread. Have a fantastic weekend. Thank you again to our guest speakers and everyone who attend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.